I want to first present to you an opening statement of I don't have a problem with veganism. I don't have a problem with vegans at all. I have a problem with bad information. To say that a vegan diet is healthier based on the science that is basically bought and paid for from the mid 1800s, from Seventh day Adventist cult like society and prior, where there's no science that was tested and it was kind of adapted and paid through the system and pushed along as it went. That's the problem that I have. If you want to abstain from animal products in any form, that's your choice. Who am I to say anything to you? I could care less about what you do. But what I have a problem with is when there are essential nutrients and vitamins that are missing in a more obtainable, bioavailable form that a child could use, and they don't even have a fighting chance because you're raising them out of the womb on a vegan type diet, where we've seen a couple cases over the years where children have died. And I know people are going to say, well, for one case, as I think his name's Paul. Paul said whenever he was debating Frank Tefano, for your one case of that vegan diet, I can find 1,000 cases of the other ones. That's all fine and dandy. But we're not talking about that. We're not trying to compare apple to oranges here. We're looking at could you have saved that child's life? Could you have given them something to keep that child alive longer, to help them grow into a prosperous, strong body? And the answer to that question is yes. You chose to not do that because of your beliefs. Now, if you would have let that child grow up and continue to believe what they believe on their own and make up their mind on their own without having you choose that for them, that would have been the right way to do things. But to say, I know 1,000 other people that are sick or dying because of animal-based products, which you don't know that. You absolutely do not know that. We can honestly say that people have been convicted in a criminal court beyond a reasonable doubt that based on the nutritional needs of that child, they were not met by raising that child on a vegan diet and they died. It is directly on you. It is directly a failure of the vegan diet, and that should not be a diet that a child is put on as they're growing and developing, their brain's growing, their body's growing, their organs are growing. There's so much development there, and they just don't have what they need. Look at this Aga in America, or whatever her name is, where her child hasn't looked like it's developed at all. Looks like a little alien baby, and I'm not trying to be mean, but that's what it looks like. That child hasn't been developing at all on a vegan diet. Look at the couple over in the UK that just got convicted and basically charged with their child's death, and they openly admitted that they put the child on a vegan diet. Now, regardless if it was the proper way it was done, but they did. A child that's developing, that's just a few years old, does not need to be on a vegan diet. I don't care who you are. I don't care how you want to justify that. You want to debate me on this topic? I'm more than willing to do it. You won't win. I can tell you that right now. It's not going to happen. Now, if you choose to do that as an adult, it's your right to do that. I'm going to let you know right now this is part one of a series that I'm putting out where I'm going to cover the entire history of the vegan diet as far back as I can possibly track it without killing myself digging and digging and digging, because I'm sure there's some jackass somewhere that can say, oh, you can go all the way back to the 1400s when the freaking Roman, Chinese, Greco, Asian, Indian, Ukulelean tribe or something like that lived on top of a mountain somewhere, and all they had was the brush berries to eat, and they lived off that. I don't care. I'm talking about what's available to me without killing myself to look for it. I'll go, 1800s, 1700s, and we'll just dig. We'll dig and we'll see what we can find, and I'll present it to you in a very, very informative fashion, and you can decide from there what you want to do with it. There are a couple different theories. I can take you a couple different paths, but they all come back based on ideology and money. It has nothing to do with science. They didn't have science back when all this stuff was created. It was just basically trial and error type stuff. It was seeing somebody that was sick, making a change, and then monitoring them. That's what was happening. Look at John Rollo. Look at the Banting diet and stuff back in 1860 when all the Kellogg's and Seventh Day Adventist stuff was going on about the same time. You know, you had one group that was promoting veganism and no meat because of masturbation, but then you had another group where a guy was dying basically, and a doctor had told him to mainly eat a meat-based diet with just low glycemic veggies and don't be afraid of fat and protein, and it changed his whole entire life. And he wrote the letter of condolence or letter of acceptance or whatever it was, and it went viral back then. So this is the intro video to that right now. So this is going to be part one. I'll upload this first. I've got some other videos already loaded. I just got to put them together and look forward to this multiple part series of everything that I can find on a vegan diet and the ideology based relationship behind it. Thanks, guys.